Hi guys, July 5th, just like I said, second video. I got some updated information that I need to get out. If people have not noticed worldwide, even by me in Indiana, we are having coin shortage, okay? And that's October 11th through the 18th is the Global Pact meeting for the New World Order and the currency. Okay, first they're going to do the coins, small bills, and then it's going to be big bills, and then they're going to get you they're getting you used to the debit card, just like no face mask, no service, no chip, no service. It's going to be the same thing. All right, I'm going to read you this. On July 30th, the Senate Banking Committee held a hearing of the future digital dollar. The pressures to create a digital USD are mounting as China recently began testing its own digital currency, which will be included in popular applications like WeChat and Alipay. Of particular concern is widespread adoption of a digital yuan in emerging markets and in international trade. The idea of a dollar-backed digital currency gained mainstream media attention last year during the Libra Congress hearings, where Facebook introduced a new type of digital unit backed by a basket of currencies and commodities. Although David Marcus insisted that Libra users would not have to put their trust in Facebook and that Libra was a decentralized currency, regulators weren't buying it and expressed concern over the long-term threat that the traditional financial system. On July 9th, 2019, regulators requested a moratorium of the project, okay? In December, Libra released a new roadmap proposing several digital flat currencies deriving their values from the USD, British pound, Swiss franc, and others, thus creating an efficiency layer on top of the current financial system. Users would be able to access these digital currencies throughout a wallet installed on their phone and potentially throughout the WhatsApp chat and Facebook Messenger. Distribution issues of the $1,200 COVID stimulus checks created new momentum for the digital dollar and a more efficient financial distribution machine. It is no secret that many are still waiting for their stimulus checks, while $1.4 billion in stimulus was sent to dead people. Most recent Congresswoman Rashida, I can't even pronounce her name, and Pramila Jayapal introduced a new stimulus proposal of $2,000 per month to residents through the Automatic Boost to Communities Act, ABC Act. Under the ABC Act, Congress would authorize the Federal Reserve to create Fed accounts or digital dollar account wallets, which would allow U.S. residents and business to access financial services through an app on their phone. Building on this momentum, the Senate Banking Committee continued the discussion of the digital dollar yesterday. Okay, and this came out on the 1st, so the 30th is what they was talking about. Okay, some highlights hearing included Senator Tom, the U.S. needs a digital dollar. The U.S. dollar has to keep earning that place in the global payment system. It's better than Bitcoin, and it's better than a digital yuan. Okay, our Idaho expressed concerns of regulator oversight for stable coins, and Charles testified advocating for stable coins, stating that they address the antiquated plumbing of our financial system as well as financial inclusion. Blockchain-based stablecoins allow everyone access. Nikita, visiting assistant professor of law of Duke University, discussion the friction in the current payday cycle and the rise in demand for costly advanced payment apps, which could be resolved in digital currencies. In the absence of public policy addressing open access payments of real-time payments, low-income and moderate-income Americans will continue to have limited resources needed, whether by traditional fringe services like payday loans or some novel fringe service. And then formal CFTC chairman Chris Giancarlo and head of Digital Dollar Project emphasized that the social and national benefits, such as increased speed, lower cost, and issues of financial inclusion, Darwin said that the most adaptive survive. And I think that it's true when we transition to a new architecture. To adapt to it will bring benefits to the society at large. It is unclear how soon the digital dollar will come into existence, although increasing competition from China may be the push U.S. regulators need. Okay, why is this important? Well, because the mark of the beast, okay, we see obviously is rising with this COVID. Okay, now we have this Black Lives movement. Okay, what does this have to do with digital currency? Okay, well, all of this, okay, is part of the Antichrist beast system that is rising. Okay, like I said, the Antichrist gets 42 months to rule, to do what he needs to do. But right now, he's here, okay? And he just has not been revealed to the world, okay? And that's why the annexation has not happened, okay? So the next thing I'm going to read to you is right here. All right. This is a Strong's Concordant. This is a lexicon, the NASB Strong's thing. Okay, I'm going to read to you this verse, and then I'm going to read to you what it means. Okay? All right. For nation will rise against nation. Okay? For nation means in 1484, a race. Okay? Will rise, 1453. To waken or to raise up, against, on or upon, nation, which means a race. A nation, the nations of people. Do you understand what this Black Lives Movement, this is prophecy, okay? Whites against blacks or blacks against whites, this Black Lives Movement. Okay, that's exactly what the verse in Matthew 24 is talking about. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Okay, and then we have the persecution of the church. Okay, and then Black 4th March held in Minneapolis. This just happened last night. Protesters in downtown Minneapolis say they're taking a stand against the 4th of July because it does not represent freedom to them. How horrible is that? I mean, if you guys have seen the video, you know, they've been standing out there protesting against it. Well, I'm sorry if you don't like our country. You know, nobody asked you to live here. That's your choice to be here. Some people don't have a choice like me. I was born in America, and I don't have a desire to leave it. You know, I was born a U.S. citizen. But I'm talking about, you know, the ISIS, those who are Islamic, those who, you know, want to sit there and throw a tiffy over it. You know, it's your choice to be here. Now, we also have the Black Lives Movement, which is Antifa, the militant BLM Stormstone, okay, which was on the mountain, Mount Stone. All right, this is a full-on war. First wave was to cover, and now we have the second wave, which is insert militants, okay? And we have the stand-down orders. Basically, you know, of taking the knee, we basically have to let things happen, right? And you can find this on The Hill, The Reuters, ABC's News, U.S. News, okay? And it has armed black demonstrators challenge white supremacist militia in Georgia's Stone Mountain. Okay, and these are also Obama's militant army that he has built for 8 years. And they were wearing ISIS, costumes. And then when civil war begins to break out, that is when we will leave. And then we have the all over coin shortage, which is the rise of the Antichrist. And then on the global news, it says a second wave is going to hit. Because thousands attended a Trump rally, okay, where masks were not required and no social distancing occurred. Okay, and then you find this through Jennifer Johnson speaking about July 4th at the 48-second mark. This is when Trump comes in and he says, we are releasing the nation's scientific top brilliance and will likely have a therapeutic and will have a vaccine solution long before the end of the year, okay? Which they have already been talking about having it done by October. The current digital I can't speak, I'm sorry, currency. Okay, now if anybody's ever watched Pastor Dana, I watched his 3 visions that he had and that he's been hearing from the Lord, since, obviously December. He had dreams where there were schools that were abandoned, October, November time, the cobwebs everywhere, which I've been shown the children cannot be going back to school. It's just, how is God going to allow his little children to suffer and put more damage on their bodies than what needs to be? Okay, which is why I truly believe, because my kids start school August 12th. I'm homeschooling them. Okay? And sorry. And so his dreams also showed, there was wars and things that were breaking out, and we have the digital currency coin shortage, things like that. And all this has been coming to pass for a while. I mean, all this has obviously been in the making for the past 20, 30 years. Okay, and all this is coming down. There's going to be a civil war, which has already been in civil war, but it's not been throughout the U.S. as of yet. At least my town's not been hit. Okay, and like they're talking about a spike in this coronavirus. Obviously, many say that it is fake, which part of it, yes, I do believe is exaggerated, but I also believe that it's real. And the reason I know for a fact that the virus is real is because not only does one of my family members in Georgia have it, and they're in ICU, but my best friend Mariah's mom, her mom and twin, okay, her grandma and her auntie are identical twins, and they both in Chicago have the coronavirus and they are recovering from it. So I know that it's real. Yeah, I know people think that, that it's got to be something else, the plague, this, that. Well, God does say that there is going to be famines, pestilence, and plagues in the last days, okay? And he's going to do whatever he can to wake his people up. And if people aren't going to listen, he's going to throw anything and everything out there. Okay, and then we also have China just deploys their aircraft carrier killers to sink the U.S. Navy. Okay, and then we also have the culture wars that comes from, they are coming for white Jesus statues because, they don't believe that Jesus is, yeah. Yeah, and then Princess Carly just sent a video from Rapture Soon, rioters, liars, deceivers, and indecisive cowards. Get right with God. So many are believing that we are going to be seeing a lot more before we leave. I am believing through what Scripture says that the last thing we are going to see is persecution. That some will be thrown in jail and prisons and persecuted against. I do not believe that we are going to be here for the beheading of the churches, anything like that. Absolutely not. Because we are not the Church of Smyrna or Laodicea. We are the Church of Philadelphia. Okay, and so now I'm also going to read to you these and why I know that the Antichrist is the one that's going to do this. It says Israeli foreign minister sovereignty moves unlikely to proceed on schedule, and you shall take possession of the land and settle in it, for I have assigned the land to you to possess. Numbers 35:53. All right. And Israeli Foreign Minister Gabi Ashkenazi said on Wednesday that the government's plan to extend sovereignty to parts of Judea and Samaria was unlikely to be carried out as scheduled. It seems unlikely that anything would have happened today, July 1st, he told Army Radio. His statement echoes that the Israeli Minister of Higher Education said on Tuesday that sovereignty moves would not be on July 1st. Whoever planned that everything would happen in a single day on July 1st did so at his own risk. Now, from tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the clock will start ticking. After meeting with the American officials on Tuesday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the discussions on the proposed sovereignty move as part of the U.S. Donald Trump's Peace to Prosperity plan were ongoing. In attendance at the meeting were U.S. Special Middle East Envoy Avi Berkowitz, U.S. Ambassador to Israel David Friedman, Knesset Speaker Yariv Levin, and Israeli National Security Council head Meir Ben Shabbat, and Prime Minister's Office Director General Rowan Peretz. There are very robust conversations with Israel on the Trump plan, a U.S. official of Reuters at the conclusion of Berkowitz's trip to Israel had said. Okay, and then Gantz, early elections will be very bad for Israel. According to Gantz, his allies in the government will do everything in our power to prevent a fourth election at this time. An early election will be irresponsible and very bad for Israel at this time, alternate Prime Minister Netanyahu, Benny Gantz, said Sunday morning. I joined a cabinet alongside Labor in order to prevent a fourth election, Gantz told Army. I am not afraid of it. I have participated in 3 already, but I do believe that at this point, Israel should be taken away from an election. Gantz's statement following the threat by Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu said, to initiate an election if an annual budget is not approved this week. While Netanyahu and the majority of his Likud party support an annual budget, Gantz's party, blue and white, alongside several members of Likud itself, support a biannual one. I intend on bringing the budget as early as within a week, Netanyahu said Friday, according to his N12. And blue and white said if they want an election, it's their problem. And I will do everything in our power to prevent a fourth election at this time. And he added the most critical issues for Israel at this point are the coronavirus outbreak, the economic crisis, the divisions in Israeli society, and the state's security. Iran spread terrorism and arms across the Middle East to Syria, Lebanon, Gaza. Gantz told a nuclear-capable Iran is something we cannot allow, and we will prevent that by all means necessary. We asked whether Israel was involved in a recent series of explosions on Iranian nuclear sites and power plants. The minister said he cannot confirm or deny in one incident or another. Support separating from Palestinians endorsing the peace plan of the U.S. Donald Trump. He added that the right way to apply Israeli sovereignty to the West Bank is through getting the U.S. on board and the dialogue with the Palestinians. Israel should not look for shortcuts when it comes to the annexation. Right now, we need to address the huge crisis we are in. There is a Palestinian entity. What do Israelis want? Most cannot take the risk of a non-demilitarized Palestinian state, but most do not want to rule over the Palestinians. So they are still up in the air with this, and I believe that the reason it's going to be easy to be able to make a decision is because it's going to be by force through the Antichrist. They will be screaming and begging for their peace, okay? And we leave, and then all hell will break loose. And if everybody's seen that the blood moon of last night, it happened at 4:44 a.m. in the morning and lasted until 8 8:38 and 7:38 and 8:38 this morning. So 444, very prophetic numbers. And if they go into a fourth election, I just like I said, the Antichrist is so close to coming. He's so close to appearing. All of this stuff that's happening is all biblical. It's all in the book of Matthew. It's all in Mark, Luke, Revelations. We are here, folks. Jesus Christ is about to return, and just the more stuff that happens, the more that it's prophetic. So pray over these as always, and God bless.